There are nights when the body is exhausted, but the mind simply will not stop. All day the world asks things of you: to be present, to be productive, to be patient, to show up. And you did, in the ways you could, with what you had. But somewhere in all of that doing, something was quietly left unfed. Not the body, not the schedule, something beneath those things. Something that only surfaces when the day finally goes still and there is nothing left to do but feel what is actually here. You know this feeling. It is why you are still awake. Here at Mindfulness, we believe the hours before sleep are not empty time to be filled. They are sacred time to be honored. And tonight, we want to honor them with you. Across 10 lessons rooted in authentic Buddhist wisdom, we'll gently explore what the nighttime mind most needs to hear. Teachings on impermanence that bring comfort instead of fear. On the self that changes even while we sleep. On compassion that begins not with grand gestures, but with the simple act of acknowledging your own tiredness with kindness. We'll look at what it means to release a day completely and what the Buddha understood about rest that most of the modern world has forgotten. These lessons will not ask anything of you. They will only offer. And sometimes, in the right moment, an offering is everything. Let us begin. 1. The day has already done its work. There is a teaching in Buddhist thought that is rarely spoken of directly, but it runs beneath everything. The past cannot be undone, and trying to undo it in your mind is its own kind of suffering. Right now, somewhere in your thoughts, there is a moment from today that you are still holding. A word that came out wrong, a decision you second-guessed, a conversation that ended without resolution. You are holding it, turning it, as if the turning itself will change its shape. But the day has already done its work on you. Every moment you live today has already left its mark, quietly, invisibly, the way water shapes stone over time. You do not need to review it tonight to receive its teaching. The teaching has already entered you. In early Buddhist texts, there is a recognition of what is called papanka, the mind's tendency to proliferate, to multiply thoughts far beyond what the moment requires. This is what happens at night. One worry becomes 10. One memory becomes a story. One feeling becomes a verdict about your entire life. The remedy is not to think harder. It is to recognize that the day is complete, not when everything is resolved, but when you choose to stop carrying it. Lay it down now. It has already taught you what it came to teach. 2. You are not behind. One of the quietest forms of suffering in modern life is the feeling that you are falling behind. Behind where you should be, behind who you should have become, behind some imaginary version of yourself that always seems to be just ahead of you. Tonight, gently release that idea. The Buddha's understanding of time was not linear. He did not teach that life is a race with a finish line. He taught that each moment is complete in itself, whole, full, and sufficient. The present moment does not owe anything to the future, and neither do you. You are not a project that is running late. You are a living being, moving through conditions that are always changing, doing the best you can with what you have and what you know. That is not failure. That is the very nature of a human life. Tonight, rest in the truth that where you are is exactly where you are. Not behind, not failing. Simply here in this moment, which is the only place you have ever truly been. 3. What you resisted today was your teacher. Think of the moment today that made you tighten, the frustration, the interruption, the unexpected difficulty, the moment your jaw clenched or your chest went tight. Most of us move through these moments wanting only one thing, for them to stop. But Buddhist wisdom sees these moments differently. It sees them as the precise location where growth becomes possible. The teaching of dukkha is often translated as suffering, but a more honest translation might be friction. The friction between what is and what we want. And friction, when met with awareness rather than resistance, produces something extraordinary. It produces clarity. Every moment of difficulty today was showing you something about your own mind, what you are attached to, what you fear losing, what you believe must be a certain way. This is not punishment. This is instruction of the highest kind, because no teacher outside of you can show you your own interior the way life itself can. So, before you sleep, offer a quiet bow to what was difficult today. Not because difficulty is to be celebrated, but because it came to teach, and a lesson that has been received deserves to be honored. You did not fail when things were hard. You were being taught. 4. Kindness was enough. There is a question worth sitting with tonight, quietly, without judgment. Where did you offer kindness today? Not grand gestures, not extraordinary sacrifice. Just the small, ordinary expressions of care that move through a day almost invisibly. The patient breath before responding. The genuine question asked about someone's well-being. The moment you chose gentleness when irritation would have been easier. Buddhist teaching places enormous emphasis on metta, loving kindness, not as a feeling to be manufactured, but as a quality to be cultivated through intention and attention. The Buddha described it as the most beautiful of the heart's natural capacities, like a light that exists within you and simply needs conditions to shine. You expressed that light today. Perhaps in ways so small you did not even notice, perhaps in ways that someone else received and will carry with them. Kindness travels. It leaves the hand that offered it and keeps moving through people and moments and time in ways we never fully see. So tonight, rather than tallying what you did not give, rest with what you did. Rest with the truth that a single moment of genuine kindness is not a small thing. In Buddhist understanding, it is a ripple in the stream of cause and effect that extends far beyond what the eye can follow. You were kind today. In ways seen and unseen, you were kind. That was enough. 5. Your breath is already wisdom. Right now, without any effort, something remarkable is happening. Your body is breathing. Not because you commanded it, not because you earned it, simply because life, in its quiet generosity, is breathing through you. This is where Buddhist meditation always returns, the breath, not because the breath is a technique or a trick, but because the breath is the most immediate proof that this moment is real, that you are alive, and that you do not need to do anything to deserve the next inhale. The Anapanasati teachings, the Buddha's own instructions on mindful breathing, describe the breath as a place of refuge. When the mind is scattered, return to the breath. When the heart is heavy, return to the breath. Not to escape what you feel, but to feel it from a place of stillness. Try this now. Breathe in slowly and notice there is no past in this breath. No tomorrow, no unfinished task, only the sensation of air entering your body, your chest rising, life renewing itself without permission or apology. This is wisdom, not the kind that comes from study, but the kind that has been living inside your body your entire life. You already carry it. It has never left you, and tonight it will carry you gently into rest, one breath at a time. 6. Letting go is not losing. There is a deep fear underneath so much of our nighttime restlessness. The fear that if we stop thinking about something, we will lose our grip on it. That if we stop worrying, we are being irresponsible. That if we release the day, something important will slip through our hands while we sleep. But Buddhist wisdom draws a careful and important line between holding something with care and clinging to it with fear. These are not the same gesture. One is love, the other is suffering. Upadana, clinging, is identified in Buddhist teaching as one of the primary roots of suffering. Not because attachment is wrong, but because clinging to what cannot be controlled creates a particular kind of pain, like trying to hold running water in a closed fist. The water does not stay, and your hand exhausts itself. Tonight, letting go of the day is not losing it. The experiences, the growth, the connections, they are already woven into you. You do not need to grip them to keep them. A tree does not clutch its roots to stay grounded. It simply grows downward, quietly, steadily, and the ground holds it. Let the thoughts of today pass through your open hands like water. What is truly yours will remain. What must move on was never yours to keep. In releasing, you do not become less, you become lighter, and lightness is how the spirit rests. 7. The self you worry about is not fixed. Of all the things that keep us awake at night, perhaps none is more persistent than the story we tell about ourselves. The quiet verdict we carry, I am too sensitive, I am not disciplined enough, I always do this, I never change. These stories feel like facts. They do not feel like stories. They feel like the shape of who we are, solid and unchangeable. But one of the most quietly revolutionary things the Buddha ever taught was the concept of anatta, non-self. Not that you do not exist, but that the self you believe yourself to be is not the fixed, permanent, solid thing your mind insists it is. It is more like a river than a stone. It is a continuous movement of thoughts, sensations, perceptions, and experiences, always flowing, always shifting, never truly still. This teaching is not meant to unsettle you. It is meant to free you. If the self is not fixed, then the story you have been telling yourself tonight does not have to be the story of tomorrow. The person who is impatient today is not permanently an impatient person. The person who forgot, who stumbled, who chose poorly, that person is not a conclusion. That person is a process. A living, breathing, changing process, moving through time the way a river moves through a landscape, sometimes smooth, sometimes turbulent, but always moving. Buddhist teacher after Buddhist teacher returns to this truth because it is so easily lost. You are not the sum of your worst moments. You are not even the sum of your best ones. You are the awareness that watches both, the quiet presence beneath the noise, untouched by the content of what passes through it. So the self you have been judging tonight, the one that fell short, the one that worried too much, the one that could not keep up, that self is not your permanent address. It is where you happen to be standing today. Tomorrow, the river moves. Tomorrow, you are not the same person who closed their eyes tonight, and that is not a threat. That is among the most hopeful things a human being can know. Rest in this truth. You are not fixed. You are free. 8. Silence is not empty. We live in a world that has forgotten how to be quiet. Every silence is quickly filled with music, with screens, with the endless internal monologue that narrates our lives back to us. We have come to associate silence with absence, with lack, with something that needs to be corrected. But in Buddhist understanding, silence is not empty. It is full. It is, in fact, the fullest thing there is. There is a quality described in Buddhist contemplative traditions as shamatha, stillness, tranquility, the settling of the mind's surface until it becomes clear, like water that has stopped being stirred. This stillness is not unconsciousness. It is heightened awareness. It is the mind at its most receptive, most honest, most alive. The silence of this moment, the silence of your room, the quiet of the sleeping world outside your window, is not a vacuum. It is presence. It is life pausing its performance to simply be. And in that being, something can be heard that cannot be heard any other way. Not a voice, not a word, just a deep, wordless sense of okayness, of rightness, of the world continuing, steady and unhurried, without needing anything from you. Tonight, instead of filling the silence before sleep with one more thought, one more plan, one more review of the day, try something different. Simply listen to the quiet, not for anything in particular. Just listen the way you would listen to rain, without agenda, without analysis, simply receiving the sound as it arrives and letting it dissolve as it passes. The Buddhist path is sometimes called the path of awakening. But awakening does not always arrive in a moment of great insight or dramatic realization. Sometimes it arrives exactly like this. In a quiet room, in the dark, when you stop insisting that the silence has nothing to offer and discover that it has been speaking gently all along. Let the silence hold you tonight. It knows what it is doing. 9. Compassion begins with where you are. There is a version of the spiritual path that looks like striving, always reaching toward a higher state, a purer mind, a more enlightened response. And while aspiration has its place, there is a shadow side to this kind of striving that rarely gets spoken about. It can quietly become a form of unkindness toward yourself. Tonight, before you sleep, consider this. The Buddha's teaching on compassion, karuna, was never reserved for the strong, the advanced, or the already healed. It was offered most tenderly to those who were struggling, to those who were confused, to those who had fallen, stumbled, and were not yet sure how to rise. Compassion, in its authentic Buddhist form, begins with honest acknowledgement. Not denial, not performance, not the forced smile of someone trying to feel better than they do. It begins with the willingness to look clearly at your own pain and say, quietly and without drama, "This hurts. This is hard. I am struggling, and that is real." You may have carried something today that no one else saw, a grief that has not yet found its words, a worry that sits just beneath the surface of your ordinary functioning, a longing that you have not been able to name. These are not weaknesses to be eliminated. In Buddhist understanding, the capacity to feel deeply, including to feel pain, is part of what makes compassion possible. You can only truly understand another's suffering because you have known your own. So tonight, turn the warmth of compassion inward, not as a project, not as a technique, but simply as an act of honest care. Place your hand on your own heart if that feels right. Breathe slowly and say to yourself, without performance or pressure, I see you. I know this has been hard. You are allowed to rest. This is not self-pity. Self-pity looks outward, seeking confirmation from the world that suffering is real. Compassion looks inward and simply knows. It is steady, quiet, and strong in the way that kindness is always strong, not because it refuses to feel, but because it refuses to abandon what is feeling. From this place of compassionate honesty, sleep becomes something different. It becomes not an escape from the difficulty of being human, but a gentle act of care for the human being you are. 10. Every morning is a new arising. The Buddha described existence as a stream of arisings, each moment coming into being, and each moment passing away, replaced by the next moment, fresh and unconditioned by anything other than the causes and conditions that produced it. This is not a metaphor. In Buddhist understanding, this is the actual structure of experience. Each breath is a new breath. Each thought is a new thought. Each morning is, in a very real sense, a new life. We tend to think of sleep as a pause, a gap between the person we were yesterday and the person we will be tomorrow. But Buddhist thought offers a more interesting possibility, that the self which wakes tomorrow morning is not identical to the self that closes its eyes tonight. The stream continues, but the water is different. The body has repaired itself. The nervous system has processed what it could not process while awake. The mind has traveled through states of consciousness that the waking self never visits. You have done this thousands of times, moved through the dissolution of sleep and arrived on the other side. And each time, something subtle has shifted. You are not the same person you were before every sleep you have ever taken. Life has been quietly, continuously shaping you, and sleep is one of its most important tools. This means that whatever you are carrying tonight, whatever weight, whatever regret, whatever unresolved question, does not have to be carried into tomorrow with the same heaviness it carries now. Sleep is not passive. In Buddhist understanding, even the unconscious hours of the night are part of the great process of impermanence, of change, of the unceasing movement of causes and conditions toward new outcomes. So, as you prepare now to close your eyes, consider what you are actually about to do. You are releasing this particular configuration of thought, sensation, and experience. You are allowing the stream to flow. And when morning comes, as it will, you will arise into a moment that has never existed before, with capacities you do not yet know you have, and possibilities that cannot be seen from here. This is not wishful thinking. This is the deep logic of impermanence applied to the most intimate experience of your day. Nothing about tomorrow is predetermined by the difficulty of today. The stream does not flow backward. Rest now with the knowledge that morning is coming, not as a repetition of today, but as its own arising, its own beginning, carrying with it the quiet miracle of another chance to be aware, to be kind, to be present. You are ready for sleep, and sleep is ready for you. These 10 lessons are not instructions, they are invitations to release what the day asked you to hold, to soften what the world asked you to harden, and to rest in the oldest truth of all, that you are already enough, exactly as you are in this moment. If even one of these teachings settled somewhere inside you tonight, carry it gently into sleep. Let it work quietly in the dark, the way seeds work in soil. May you rest deeply, may you wake with clarity, and may tomorrow find you a little lighter than today.